been sued by our own board, who's been paid for the board attorney, and we're covering our own attorney's fees, and we didn't do anything wrong. So, when one person on a board like that has the authority to bring a lawsuit, you have a serious problem. That would be like one of you suing somebody on this board, and then paying for it with county funds. That makes no sense to me. That is all kinds of wrong. I don't understand it. And so, we're fighting as hard as we can. My charge to you, other than dealing with the issue that is immediately the budget, is you gotta get us some help on that board, or it's not gonna change. Because it probably won't change in this budget cycle much, because the budget's gonna have to get adopted. They're not going to adjust it to the point where it should be adjusted. So,
Maybe we need to reach out to Austin and get our elected officials there involved and, hear the story. At the same token, it might be best to reach out to news media and talking about TV media involved and start asking some, some hard questions pertaining to that and, find out if there is what you folks are talking about.
unfortunately, that doesn't usually benefit most people at all, and that sometimes splatters other places you don't want it to go. But it concerns me because I know there's several school districts involved, being a former student, knowing how they're all up against the wall. Most school districts have deficit budgets. That money would make a lot of difference to Nueces. It would make a lot of difference here. The money would make a difference to you guys. You could probably fund the dispatcher that's needed by returning money and cutting what you pay, just like that.
Cause those quarterly payments are heavy for y'all, if I'm not mistaken, correct? So if we cut that budget, then your quarterly payments would go down substantially. Not to mention, if we were able to convince them, which by the way, I did ask during the meeting, okay, so when are we gonna return this money? Crickets.
That probably won't get a discussion.
As did a budget workshop.
We were seated 11 months after we were supposed to be seated. The very first meeting, Julie asked for a budget workshop.
I did.
And we have followed up with that, and we have never had one. We get presented something that I promise you, I don't know who does it, and I don't know the process they go through to develop it.
Let me clarify that what I just heard. You were elected to be a board member and you didn't take your seat till what? How many months?
November.
We were
That
supposed
was
to
due
be
to the
seated in
lawsuit
January.
where they sued you guys.
Right.
over-
them.
Or you sued them over the election.
The lawsuit.
And prevailed.
And prevailed. So it delayed us being seated by 11 months.
So,
Let me
did we
go
get,
look.
well, no, I'm also wondering about the
The
audit.
audit.
I don't think we got the audit.
I assumed that as a taxing entity, that y'all had received it.
You guys know because you've been on a school board. School boards go through an audit
Oh, yeah.
every year.
We do too,
Right, okay.
but
And you know how audits work and what auditors do. They're nice. So my first time in my whole career where I've had an auditor, it's not in here, say out loud, I don't remember his words exactly, that there are some issues that need to be cleaned up. Have you ever had an auditor say that to
no,
you?
we get the unqualified opinion.
Exactly, and that's good, but
He
but
did
when
speak
an
out of
auditor
turn.
stands up in front of you,
Yeah,
that
he
you
did.
have used multiple years in a row, and says, there are issues that need to be addressed,
He said,
multiple times.
we have located it for this audit and have secured all of the supplemental information for all of our numbers. However, in the future, you are going to need to have better business practices. So, I'm assuming that was from January to whenever we had the meeting, which was the 30th, so yes, it was, he stepped out of his normal realm and said to that board that needed to
That
take
has-
place.
Like I say,
Which we did.
I've never seen that.
We did at that meeting have a discussion regarding, and our interim chief appraiser is looking for a bookkeeper. So, we'll see how that, but of course that will go under contract labor. We will not have another employee, it will just be contract
Right.
labor. hopefully. We don't know.
Can I see that one more time, see?
Sure.
And this is new, this is what we presented the other day.
The 30th, yes, sir.
Yeah, that's the audit report.
And I'm sorry, I assumed y'all had it.
Let me see that, is that the page that has the? Okay, I think no, it's on that same page, excuse me, where this is the actual money that you would consider. And this is where typically a CAD is entitled to that, so to speak. But you could have a discussion about sending every one of those numbers back. I'm not saying that, I don't know enough to know if they're physically able to do that, but their practices are a little bit less than appropriate. On the night that we were presenting $200,000 worth of contracts for contact labor, we had not seen 7 months of fiscal statements.
Let me ask you this question. I see the numbers that are pertaining to this audit. Excuse me, I might have to drink some water real quick. Pertain to this audit, and it's probably fiscal year so-and-so or so-and-so.
Right.
Now, what's on the line item of previous money that's been held, and where does it stand, and what is it designated as on the line item?
We asked that exact same question.
Well,
We
she
got
is.
no response.
Well, that's a problem.
Yes, sir. We believe the same thing.
That's a huge
We
problem.
watched y'all today in amazement,
God bless you. For,
in amazement.
I didn't think that was a hard concept, but we have not been able to get that across. How serious that is, about that. And like I say, there's no public workshop development process. There's so many things in that budget that need to be discussed, just like y'all did today. We have contracts coming up for, computers, different things. Judge brought up, should we be discussing a different location? Could we save money on this? Could we save money on that? None of those questions were asked about that. So I've had to go to individuals that are part of the entities to ask, what kind of money have you gotten back? And the best I've gotten was from the school district, said in the past 7 years, they'd only got about $7,000 or $8,000 back. My question would be, this budget has been growing exponentially.
Every year.
Where is that money?
Go, where's it at?
And where's the documentation for the decision on what you do with it? Because there should be a record on what's happened with that money. It can be appropriate for a CAD to keep all of that, but there should be a reason you keep all of that.
And we've been told, of course, just like y'all did today, capital outlay, if there's a project that they have and they want to do, that's fine. Just tell us what it is. We don't see it in the numbers and the line items that you're gonna see on that budget right there. So we don't see that they need to keep that money. But if there is, then obviously a workshop would bring that out, right? So, but we've not had that. So, all we're telling y'all today is that there's money to be given back and that you need to drastically look at that budget.
And maybe if you ask questions, you'll get the answers that we can't get.
No, we've asked. Believe
Did you
me.
get crickets too? That's what we got, crickets.
We got a lot of different answers.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Who is New Oasis County? Who's that?
Or across the mountain, or these two?
Just us, yeah.
You have a rep on there.
Mhm.
He doesn't care about you guys, I promise you. I hate to say something rude, but it's obvious to me.
Hold up. That individual you're talking about,
Was actually put on by Lake ISD.
okay, that's what I wanna clarify, cause I heard that
Yeah.
here a while
Well,
back.
my point, he lives there.
He lives there, but he represents Lakey ISD.
Well, he represents all 10 entities
Well, that's true,
once you
that's
are
true, but he was
seated.
voted in by,
Exactly.
By
all
Lake
ten.
ISD, yes.
I wanted to clarify, cause that's what I actually heard.
Cause I know what that kind of money means to a small district over there. That's a teacher.
So we don't know, who developed this budget? Did it come from the top down, the acting chief appraiser?
We have no idea.
But there haven't been any budget workshops or
Zero.
public
Okay,
meetings.
so the acting chief of prison did not do this.
We don't know that, we don't know the answer.
Has anybody asked her? Have y'all asked her?
She presented that, but anytime we ask a question that we got a non-answer to, it did not come from her.
You know, just to give you an example, prior to Judge Rubio taking office, okay, the former, county judge resigned, and so we put in an interim,
Right.
county judge for the duration of his term, which was about a year. That gentleman did the budget. He did all the presentations and brought it to Commissioner's Court, and we finagled, so the interim
Terry can probably
chief
tell you.
appraiser should be doing this budget, so she should be able to
We
answer,
can't-
hey, I did this.
We can't, she doesn't have the institutional history and hadn't been here long enough, other than to take what she had and adjust it. Doesn't understand, it's like an iceberg. She just sees the tip, she doesn't want to, and Terry can tell you, she's accomplished a lot, so she's been focused on things.
Yeah, this is
that
not
are not
anything
budget.
to do with our interim
No,
chief of
we're
prison.
glad she's here.
No, not at all.
My point is, even if she did, once it was presented, there should have been a process that you, like you went through today, because somebody started, somebody has to start,
Exactly.
and you go from there. That was presented and approved the very same night. And the same night we got this.
So not.
This information was not
And that
available
included
to us.
public hearings for the
And-
public to come in that same night.
And then we had our book that was this thing that we got when we sat down at that table.
You walked in and presented that is what you just
Uh-huh.
Oh my God.
handed out to each person.
Yes, and like I say, this audit was presented the same night, which, as you can tell, would have a significant impact on the development of a budget. And that was sent out to all taxing entities. You're the one we have access to, I don't even know how to access the others, you need to spread the word, because they don't know.
And until we tell everybody what the small amount of information that we have located.
Well, we're being recorded, so
I-
they're hearing it,
I asked
they're hearing it, so.
Yeah.
She asked me to not record.
I did.
And you know what, I don't care at this point, I've been sued for doing nothing wrong, and there is so much things that are going on that shouldn't be going on. He needs to record it, and he needs to send it out to people that need to know the truth. I'm new to here, they didn't know me from Adam, and they treated me like I was a bad person. I was asked by the judge to do this because it was needed, and because I was treated so poorly the very first time I went down there with a previous, Juan, when Juan was down there. He treated me like an idiot and tried to tell me I wasn't entitled to a homestead exemption or a 65 and over. I told you I was a superintendent of schools, I know how the taxing structure works. I know how the finance system in Texas works. I have a doctorate, I taught it at the University of Houston, finance and school politics. I know what it's supposed to look like. So I knew there was a problem, so when she mentioned it to me, I went, I've seen him treat elderly people, and they leave there crying because they can't get answers. And he's giving me answers that are completely wrong. What is he doing to these people? It's a travesty, because this is an amazing place. But that is being run completely inappropriate.
So what we've done is basically stood up for the taxpayers and just
Yeah.
said,
So at this point, I don't care, I'm literally selling my house. I'm gonna keep my homestead here, because I'm not giving up this fight. I made a commitment to Bella, made a commitment to Julie. But there's a limit to what I'm willing to pay to defend myself for doing nothing wrong, if you get my drift. So if we don't get some other people that stand up and start asking these questions, are willing to be videoed, okay? I don't know what to tell you. I guess you just suck it up. But to see you guys do what you do, to be as fiscally responsible for this county, it's a shame that right down the road, you have just the opposite kind of behavior.
Well, this is good information and, just plugging the numbers in here, so off of the purportedly, overinflated budget, we're already, $47,000 below our appraisal district levy last year. Plus, now we know that there's, a chunk of funds that
Could be
we need to be aware of when it comes before us for approval.
And that's the $56,744.58.
That's what would be due to us.
Yes, ma'am.
That's-
Dog County, right here.
It would just be interesting to compare his budget and his staff to this budget and this staff. Because we were sitting there going, what did he say? That can't be
And looking
right.
at ours going, that can't be
There's
right.
2 girls down there and a contract person, period. Now, those girls have had the authority and have been caught before, but they've had the authority through some back way to inflate their salaries. I saw the memos. So how does someone who is no longer your chief appraiser, who was off-site at the end of October, by contract to November 15, sends a memo that really doesn't even have a signature? It's a DocuSign giving significant increases to 2 employees that happened after we were seated, and it's never gone in front of us as a board. This
Thank
guy
you.
would probably like that authority to do that for his employees.
Thank y'all so much.
You bet. Thank you.
Sorry, I got a little emotional.
So,
Good luck with that.
good to know. They're gonna be, when does that come to us for approval?
I need to go through it has to be a separate line item on our agenda, so I just need to check the timeline. Okay,
So this one, these are the general fund, all the in-kind,
the
what do we
miscellaneous.
call those? The money we give to the.
Yes, the
Other
contract
entities.
services.
Contract
The
services.
contract services.